Oh,
She's at
she's at
work.
work listening. Okay.
Well, I had about 15, actually it said 20, but I didn't realize that Chelsea said, "Hey mom, I registered for your," I'm not going to go, but I just wanted to see the process. She said, "Mom, I got a reminder." And then someone registered twice. I think, sometimes you make a mistake and you might do two different emails. So we're just going to see how it goes. Okay. Well, I didn't know that, unless anyone want to share something before, we have no one. We have Erica. I know, Carla, my friend from Italy, is hopping on, but I don't know if, some people might be a few minutes late.
Are
Anyone
you
have
gonna,
any questions?
Sharon,
Sorry?
are you gonna share the recording, or are you gonna have the
Yes,
recording
yes.
available? Okay,
Yes, I'm
so
gonna make the, yeah, because I have a couple people who want to, they said they can't join, but they want to do the retreat on their own and have the replay. So
Well, I was looking forward to this because I wanted to hear what Lori and Sarah have to share. And this whole inner child thing is new to me. Like, well, ever since I met Karen, like I was like, what is the inner child? So I just want people to know this is like new to me.
well, I think Sarah and I talked about it, right? How sometimes therapists remind us to, what would your inner child, what would little Desi need to hear? Because what's your experience, Sarah, since we're waiting?
When I am speaking of something that is troubling, whether it's current or something that's been resurfaced from the past, my therapist often reminds me to, puts on pause, what would little Sarah say? And it helps me to look differently at the situation, because little Sarah looks very differently at things. Little Sarah didn't have the pressures of today and the trauma of today, and you know the addictions of today, and all that.
Mm.
It's a good check-in point.
Yeah, it's very powerful. When I first, I was guided to do it verbally on a Zoom, and it was my cousin leading it, and I ended up crying because if you picture yourself as a 5-year-old, then what did little Karen need to know? And you visualize, the little self, and it's just, oh my gosh, Bonnie's in the house.
Hi,
Hi, Bonnie.
Karen. Hi, Jess. How was your trip, Karen?
It was nice. It was nice getting lost on an island. It reminded me, I told my cousin, because she's from Idaho. She was born and raised in Kona, but you know how that goes. And the older you get, with it, when it's dark, we're like, oh my gosh, left, right. When,
Okay.
when you both have, when you're like, it's okay if we get lost.
Okay.
So
As long as there's somebody to talk to, right?
as long as there's somebody to talk to.
I have to put my lipstick on. You know me.
So
Okay.
Little
Erica shared,
Erica. Yeah.
yeah. Little Erica
Yes.
would like to know if she can get a do over. I know, right?
I think a lot of us feel that way.
I think that's why it's important to realign yourself with people that vibe with you, like moving forward, because a lot of it we're probably surrounded by people who didn't tap into our inner sparkle, and so we just have to be picky of who we allow into our lives.
For a safe place. Well, since it's
Yep.
10:06, why don't we just start, and whoever
Oh yeah. Go
comes
ahead.
on. Are you able to yep. Erica says she feels like she had to grow up too soon. Are you able to, since you're co-host, you're able to let people in, right?
I didn't even see Bonnie on my radar.
Okay, I'll just go on I'll multitask.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to my first Reparenting Your Inner Child virtual retreat. If you don't know what your inner child is, it's the childlike part of your personality that contains your childhood memories, emotions, and really influences you as an adult. a great way to understand your inner child work is reparenting. So what I want to do today, and I hope to have you folks share, right? And if you want to, do the exercises on your own, that's fine. If you want to spend a few minutes interacting and doing exercises with us, you do not have to share your insight. But if you want to, go ahead. But doing these exercises help us get to the core of your childhood wounds. So a lot of us have trauma. Some of the trauma can be very intense. Other traumas I shared earlier, it could be as simple as I have trauma with being chosen last during PE. So now I just feel like I don't want to do any, even if it's baby shower games, and I have to really reparent and know that it's okay. That rejection seems really real. So then how do we meet, right? We're taught, how do we meet our own emotional needs that were not met in childhood? So I love how Erica shared, sometimes you feel like you grew up too soon, or how do we just connect, to that little part of us? So we practice responding to ourselves in ways that you were not as a child. So sometimes your inner child, I don't feel heard. Can I get a hug? And I think with Bonnie, you remember she would, the havening.
Self-havening, yes.
Self-havening. And it's amazing. I did this with someone and all ages, right? Should we try it just for like a couple seconds?
Yeah,
You start with
wonderful.
this.
Just wonderful.
And all you're doing is slowly caressing your elbows. You're almost giving yourself a high five. But try this. The next time you're feeling like, I don't think I can handle this.
Very
And
slowly.
I've had someone even with a sweater, and she's like, "Oh, this is very lovely," and then little children say, "Can I do this like a couple more times, before tutoring or before doing something they don't want to do?" So, where your sadness or anger might have been met with disapproval, some of us were told, "Stop crying." What are you sad about? Right? You can now choose to be there with protectiveness, right? With love and empathy. So I've been doing this lately, use the power of my adult self to create like a healing, like inner parent, right? Inner child. And I'm hoping that we address, some of the emotional needs that weren't met during your childhood. And the key is to listen to the cries and the pains of your inner child. So sometimes, like, how are you feeling? Are you stressed? Are you angry? Are you lonely? How can I validate? Because sometimes your inner child just is like, I just need to be heard. I need to be heard, understood, and not judged. And even if you don't understand, just saying, oh, that's interesting. If someone wants to either share what their experiences are. So I'd like to introduce my co-host first, Deslyn Hakias. She's a coach, a social media manager, founder of Healing with Aloha. And she's always brought hope and healing with Aloha to me, but her mission is to do this globally. She's an author, single mom of a senior in high school. So we've been helping her with inner child and present mom. Those are real fears and anxiety. Public speaker, podcaster, dance instructor, of course, my soul sister who has helped me in a lot of situations where I think I'm going to die, Des. And she was like, has your roof flown off? Because your roof flew off during the hurricane. And I said, it feels like I died. It feels like my roof fell out. And then practicing deep breaths, you're okay. And then you survive. It's amazing how and Jess was mentioning this too, having a safe tribe. So I'm glad that, we're all here together. Laurie Benkert, who is, well, I don't know if it's the same as, she's on my upper right. So, but you can just read Laurie's name. She's the current owner of Wildy Properties. And I'm sure she can share. I bet your inner child has a lot to say about you being the host of American Dream TV, facing, like you said, oh my gosh, she's going to be wearing a swimsuit soon, going on a boat cruise. And putting herself, her adult self out there, right? President of Kauai Community Player, divorced after 40 years with 2 adult sons, 3 grandchildren, but now embracing a new future. And I'm sure she'll share a little bit about that. Sarah Claber. Oh, I'm sorry. Laurie's from Kauai, same as Deslin. Sarah's from the East Coast, New York. She's the mom, author, and mental health advocate. She founded Treasures Around Us. Please look that up on Amazon. She's passionate. And this is how we connected, right, Sarah? We're both only children. Both, I think, have had depressions, high anxiety, mega panic attacks as a mother, as a human, as a worker, and knowing that the emotional wellness of today's children is our top priority, and sharing her personal story of depression, anxiety, suicidal ideation really helps others learn that we are there. No one's alone in this journey. So what I'd like to do is start with a inner child meditation. If you just want to be off camera, that's fine. I want you, everyone to just close your eyes, and I'll be walking you through the meditation. Okay. So let's take 5 deep, slow breaths, just relaxing a little more with each out breath. So you're inhaling a little more. So your belly should be out when you're inhaling. And when you exhale slowly through your mouth as if you're blowing through a straw, very slowly. And you're exhaling. So all the air is being sent out. And let's do that 4 more times. Inhaling, holding, and exhaling. And as you do these deep breaths, I want you to think about a current upset or a current challenge, and let it enter your mind. And let the thoughts, all these roller coaster emotions that usually accompany the situation, just let them float around. You're not engaging in them, but you're just letting them travel freely in your mind. And you're just taking your time, and you just keep just breathing in and out. And we're going to gently scan your body, and you're noticing any areas where there might be old upset. This old upset is manifesting. It could be felt like tension in your jaw or stomach. And if the upset seems to intensify when you do this, that's okay. Just come back and focus on your breath for a moment. No, there's nothing you need to do, but just listen compassionately as you can. And as you listen, you can actively ask a question like, what is it am I feeling right now? Or, I'm just going to stay here with you, okay? And it could be your inner child, just, you're having a conversation and you're there together. Is there something you want or need right now? And you listen carefully for a response to your genuine interest with love. It might be verbal, like, I'm so upset, or no one cares about me. Just listen to what those messages are. It might be energetic. You might notice a feeling of anger or a feeling of emptiness or loneliness. And emotion and body sensations may be the only language your inner child has. So let's do our best to listen with our whole awareness, staying grounded in your adult self, who is safe and resourceful. And remember, if you ever start feeling upset, just return to your breath and use your senses to connect with the present moment Remind yourself that you're in a safe place. If you notice you are getting into your adult mind, interpreting or thinking about what is happening, then pay attention again to your body. So feel your hands and your feet, maybe the surface. You're sitting on your chair. Just reconnect with the physical sensations of the moment that you'll let go of needing to figure things out. We do not need to figure things out now. We don't even need to feel better right now because all we're doing is listening to our inner child. So ask questions if it feels appropriate, but don't grill yourself. Just go at your pace, or go at your inner child's pace, not yours. If, like many of us, you have not always been a good listener of your inner child's needs, sometimes it might result in a stomach ache, sometimes a headache, or you just physically just don't feel well. It might take a while for her to open up to you. And this may be the reason your inner child's feelings have remained unresolved. And it's okay. We're using this opportunity to create a new, loving pathway to all parts of ourselves. And when your child feels a feeling within you, just validate it. Tell them and let them feel that you understand how your little self feels. They might tell you what they need, maybe like being held. So you can do the Havenly technique that Bonnie and I were demonstrating. And if they say they're lonely, just say inside of your head, I love you. I love you, little self. And say your name. So I've been told, I love you, little Karen. And then I'm like, I'm always here for you. Meet their need fully. And for as long as they want to take in, let them decide when it's enough. So cycle through these periods, when you're on your own, outside of this retreat, take time to listen, ask what your little self needs, validate your little self, and just respond with love. And before we finish today, let your inner child know we're almost done just for this little meditation exercise, but that you will be there anytime your little self needs you. And as we end, ask if there's anything else your little self wants to tell you. Now let's do a final scan of your body. Notice places of relaxation, tension. If you need to do extra deep breathing, just to release. And if the tension needs to remain, just accept that it's okay. Notice what happened to any areas of tension that you noticed in the beginning. And as we finish, just let's do final few deep breaths. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Anyone want to share? Or if you don't want to share, that's fine. I wanted to make sure that everyone has a pen and a piece of paper, because the next thing we'll do, if you need to get one, that's fine. Step aside, get a pen and paper, because after this exercise, if anyone wants to share, we'll spend time on that. And then Des will be leading our inner child letter writing exercise. But did anything come up? I don't know if this is new to anyone, where I know people do different meditations, but this one, I think it makes you create a safe space, because I don't know how many of you, except if you have a therapist who reminds you, to do this, or you've done research, or like me lately, my feed is always inner child video, and then there's so many out there. And I don't know, anyone want to share what might have happened or any messages they heard?
I don't. Sorry, I don't know why I'm up here twice. Do you see me twice in this group?
Oh,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't know what's going on, but I think like for me, I don't often reflect upon how I'm thinking or feeling. Um, I notice that I get easily distracted, with things, and I learned to laugh at myself, like not in a bad way, but like just chuckle, like okay, I was going to go back there to grab a computer, ended up cleaning, and ended up finding other things I wanted, but it's not what I wanted. And so I think before I used have to deal with someone who was very harsh with me for making mistakes. But it's good as an adult to be able to be kinder to myself because I am easily distracted. But yeah, so thank you because I need to be more aware and to reflect like how am I feeling about this right now? You know what I mean? Or maybe I'm not feeling because I'm numb. You know what I mean?
mhm.
But I think it's important, to check in with myself. Yeah. So thanks.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. And what you just said, it's okay to feel numb. It's okay sometimes, like how am I feeling? I don't know. And usually we're not okay with I don't know, but that's what I've been learning that it's okay not to know. Anyone else? Bonnie?
Yeah, I won't tell you the details, but something very scary happened yesterday. I'm fine. And I find when something happens, I don't think about talking to myself, my inner child, my little Bonnie. I think about telling somebody. Who can I tell? And I would text a friend, Karen. I might text you if I'm on East Coast, if it's not in the middle of the night for you. I want to validate. I want somebody to validate me. I want somebody to hear me. I want somebody to empathize with me. But I haven't gone to me and said, what exactly am I feeling right now? Why am I upset? Why am I scared? Why am I depressed? Why am I fearful? Why am I insulted? Why am I angry? I process it, but I project it outwards and want to tell somebody. And then I sit and wait for that person to say to me, yeah, that's really tough, or I'm there for you. I feel for you. I look outward. And just by listening to this meditation, Karen, it dawns on me that and you and I have done some work together. And by the way, everybody, I
Mhm.
have a new series called We Dish Two Saucy Dames, and Karen is one of my saucy dames. And it's just a conversation, that's all. And I, listening to this meditation, it dawned on me that I'm missing talking to her. I haven't done it. And that's interesting. But one thing I will share is that in the morning when I make my bed, I make my bed every day, even though I live alone, I have six little stuffed animals that are cherished, some from my kids. Thank you. Erica said the same thing. I have six little stuffed animals, a couple of teddy bears and a couple of dolls, and I set them up on the bed, but I always talk to them in the morning and I'll say, Mommy's happy to see you, or let's make the bed today. It's like they're my companions. When you live alone, you need somebody to talk to. So, but I often tell them what I'm feeling. I'll say to them, I'm really upset about something, or I'm scared about something, or I'm proud of something I did. And of course, they smile back. They're not judgmental. So that's the value of, excuse me, stuffed animals is they don't talk back, but I use them as a listening board, as a chorus. And I'll address them. I have names for them. And when I'm making the bed, I'll say, okay, we're going to go up on the pillow. I'm going to put you back. And make sure they're tucked in at night. It sounds a little strange, but they're my companions. And but Karen, I'm going to think. Thank you, Des. I'm going to think about talking to me next time something scary or weird happens, checking in. Because as you were doing the meditation, I was doing that, Karen. I was saying, why was I so upset by this? Somebody sent me a horrible poem because they know I open my radio shows with poems. And it was destructive and hideous and disgusting. And he had talked about me dying and bleeding to death. it's a very strange thing for somebody to do, a radio guest. And we've since canceled him, and he canceled, and I canceled, and just it was terrifying. But I wondered, what was it about it? Was it the disrespect? Was it the stupidity? Was it the horrible rhyming? Was it the audacity to attack me? Was it the ungratitude at being invited and then turning on me? So anyway, I'm okay, but I had to tell about 5 people about it instantly. Blood pressure went up, heart was pounding, sweating, and thinking, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I'm here alone. Does he know where I live?" So
Mm.
my child is now saying what exactly happened. And what happened was I was offended, really offended that somebody would be that ungrateful for my graciousness. We can leave it there. I know I'm talking too much. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you for sharing, Bonnie, because I think a lot of us want to immediately, right? Something happens and I'll do that. Oh my gosh, Des, guess what happened?
Yeah,
Right? And I think Erica
yeah,
does that too. Or I text Bonnie, and she's always
yeah,
like, where's the hidden gift? Normally I can, Bonnie, right? What's the hidden gift? We have no idea.
yeah,
But instead, asking our inner child, and sometimes, like you said, the inner child might say, you know what I need today? I don't feel, I
yeah,
feel like I was thrown away. I feel like
yeah.
I wasn't respected.
Oh yeah, I was trashed. I was thrown away in a literal sense. Anyway, thank you. Thank you for listening. Oh, I appreciate it.
Anyone else? Carla?
Man,
Yes, please.
so happy to be here with you. So many things were in meditation while you told the meditation. Okay, so I'm in Italy and it's 9:30 p.m. So it's bedtime for me, or at least I'm going in the night. So when I prepare myself, I thought, oh, you have to be dressed and so on. But then I did the things that I liked. So something soft, light, warm. And so I know that I'm going to enjoy this event, and I know that I'm going to enjoy the night. In the meanwhile, my cat came and she's looking at me. So I was with my eyes closed, and it was a good moment because when I was a child, I liked to be with my cat, and I like to be, on my own. But tonight, as an adult, I chose to be dressed like that, and I felt very, very well as I was in my childhood and as an adult, both together. Very good. Thank you so much for this meditation.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Carla. And I think that's what we all should do is just, right, feeling comfy, whether it's your favorite childhood drink, right? Even if it's unhealthy, you drink that, I don't know, Kool-Aid or Capri Sun juice or have that ice cream. Anyone else?
Erica shared Chata is a great listener too.
Oh,
Chata is her dog. Chata has her own Instagram, and Chata likes to eat. She's a foodie, and she likes to dress up. So that's who she likes to like spend time with.
so cute. That just reminds me, I went to the Big Island with my to spend time with my cousin, and she also lives alone. And she said her and her dog Pono have tons of conversations, and she really believes. And she goes, "Look, it's leaves, Pono. Looking, they're just falling. Do you see the shapes?" And the dog's like, "Just Karen, I really believe that just his reaction and his focus." And she has tons of conversations, and the dog literally. Right. I did that, but I think my dogs are like, okay, where's my treat? I don't think I have. And it's funny because when
Lori,
Carla, sorry. Oh yeah, Laurie,
Amber,
that's right. Oh my
Amber's
gosh.
right there.
Oh,
This is
look, and I
Amber.
met Amber. Yeah.
Amber only, I am the only person in this world that is allowed to do this to Amber because she will not let anyone else touch her. So she is my dog, and she literally watches everything I do and wherever I go and whatever I do. And yeah, I live alone as well, Bonnie. So she is my 100% companion. And it's really funny.
Hi,
Hey,
I know. Des knows
hi,
Trevor really,
Amber.
really well. And Des is trying to get into her good states, but nobody can do this to Amber. She would, if you did this to her, she would bite you. So you get to go. She's always like on me.
well, Laurie, when I went to your
Trevor's my
house,
little, like, huh?
when I went to your house, I'm like, because
Yes.
I wanted to go to the bathroom,
Oh,
and
that's right. Yeah.
she's just looking. I'm like, it's okay, it's okay. And then you can tell, and yeah, I tried, and I said, you know what, I respect, because you can tell she was like not having you here. And even when we gave her a treat, like,
You can
no.
feed her, but she won't let
Mhm.
you touch
Right,
Like
right.
I am the only person that can touch her. Which is kind of weird. I've never had a dog like that before in my life, but I do talk to her a lot. Des knows that. Uh, literally have conversations all the time. And when you live alone, Bonnie, I get it, whether it's your stuffed animals or a dog or a cat, Carly, because I have a cat too, but my cat like is never here. So my cat just comes in to eat and then leaves. So anyway, yes, hearing that, my inner monologues go through my dog a lot.
Wow, thanks. Okay, Des, you ready to do our inner child letter exercise? Get a piece of paper out, pencil. If nothing comes up, you could just doodle too. This is just something between you and your little self.
Okay, so as you guys can see the graphic, the dear inner child, and so we're gonna start with dear little, and then your name. I wish I had received more. So these questions, you can answer it now, or if you want to screenshot it, and you can do it at a different time. Um, so I'm gonna just read it real quick, and then I'll share an example for me as a letter, like talking to myself. So some of the questions to access your past memories. Um, you can answer these questions with favorite inspirational songs while reflecting on your childhood. So you can create a safe place when you ask these questions. The first one is, what happened when you voiced an opinion that was different from your parents' beliefs? Number two, what activities did you enjoy for fun? Number three, what experiences contributed to your fears? Number four, is there anything you blame your parents for? And then the last one is, imagine a time when you were crying as a child. What do you wish you had been told to feel supported? Um, so I'll go. So dear little Deslin, I wish I had um, more hugs. Um, I wish I wasn't scolded or hurt for making mistakes. And um, I wish I was safe um, in my home um, because I was safe, and then in instances I wasn't safe. So if anybody wanted to share, you can pick one of these statements, and then you're welcome to share. Oh, let me do a positive one. Dear little Deslin, I love singing, I love dancing, and I love performing for my family, even though they didn't want to see me, but I just wanted to perform because I thought I was going to become Paula Abdul. Okay, that's fine. Does anybody want to share something?
I'll share an activity. I know it sounds, I bet no one has ever done this. I loved having my stuffed animals each have medical records. So that I asked my mom to get the shot, the injection without the needle. And I don't know how she managed to convince the doctor to give her the what is it, the shot without the needle. And so I put my water, made pretend it was medicine, and gave each of my dog. I mean, I don't know which stuffed animals. I know I had like a giraffe, I had a frog. My mom gave me a frog and a bear, and each of them had, their injection, and I had to write it on the records, the date. very strange. And then I also had the library. You know, I thought it was just so cool. I got the stamp and I had all my friends borrow a library book and they had a due date, even though they weren't allowed to take the book home, but they could just like have this stamped. And no one else could do the stamp because I was a librarian. So you can tell that's the only child in me. But those are two and I never thought about until this very moment when I read fun activities and I thought no one's gonna. So it's very strange. I was an only child, so I think I came up with my own adult grown up fun activities. Carla?
Yeah. Okay. So my favorite things to do was petting my cats. I had from 2 to 5 cats, and then I want to share this because I was surprised from the question 1 and 5. It was safe. The first question, it was safer to stay silent, so not talking. People thought I couldn't talk until 5 years old. I was 5 years old. And then when I was a teenager, I told myself, I want to learn other languages so I can talk. And then the last was the last one. Would you mind reading it, please?
The last one is imagine a time when you were crying as a child. What do you wish you had been told to feel supported?
Okay, I remember I didn't cry because I was so in fear that it was better to stay tight and not talking and stay far away from my mother, and so I didn't have any risks. The fact is, if I may add, I last spring I did the PQ program with Karen, and this has changed me a lot. I have become an adult, so since then I'm looking after my inner child, and with this event, I think from now on I'm going to have quite a good relationship with the inner child, and but it surprised me because sometimes usually I remember bad things, but this one about me, that it was safer to stay silent and that I didn't cry, because if you cry you make noise, and anyway I didn't have any answer, so it was better not to stay silent and not to cry. Yeah. And I did it all my life as an adult. Until now, I have started to cry on my own. But it's good because it's, like washing things and letting go. Yeah.
Wow. Thanks for sharing. It's amazing, when you go into the inner child just asking, and then all these memories seem to pop up. I want you to share what Erica wrote. I blame my parents for putting everything on my plate for being the eldest, not having a childhood. However, I'm also thankful. And I think, you know how, Bonnie, we talk about the inner gift? When you look at what was the positive part of not having a childhood and being the eldest, she's thankful because it made her into the hardworking, independent woman she is today. Oh, thanks for sharing that. Anyone else?
Karen?
Bonnie? Yes.
Yeah, I have an interesting one. I grew up in a very loving, attentive home. I was made to feel loved. I had lots of opportunities. We weren't wealthy, very middle class. My mom was a former nurse. My dad was a doctor, busy radiologist. I had one sister, 16 months younger. But this is going to sound strange. There was so much love and so much acceptance in my home that when I went to school and was rejected by somebody, like a boy said he didn't like me, I fell apart. So I wasn't prepared for the outside world to say, I don't want to dance with you. I don't want to date you. I don't want to sit next to you. I took it very hard. I ended up with a therapist when I was 9 years old just to I cried a lot because I just couldn't handle the rejection. So it's almost, I don't know if there's such a thing called the cocoon syndrome, but I grew up so protected that I wasn't aware of how bad it felt for somebody to say, no, I don't like you. I don't want you. So so my inner child has to say to me now, little Bonnie, you were fine and it was their problem, not yours. And screw them and look what they missed out on and look how I turned out. So I think I could do a little retrospective self coaching and talking at this point. So thank you for listening.
Wow, I never thought about that, Bonnie. I think the same thing
Yeah.
with me. When your parents don't prepare you for rejection, and that first
Yeah.
job, the first boyfriend, the first any kind of rejection or bad grade, you think, wait a minute,
Oh my God.
what? I'm getting a Whenever I cried and cried and cried, I'm like, this is me.
Yeah.
And then you realize now, as a parent, coach, and an educator, we need to have kids experience,
Yeah.
like not the right, just disappointment. Do
Yeah.
you think? If
Hmm.
we prepare them for disappointment, then they know that they're not their value. Des has taught me our value is nothing to do with the outside circumstances or if anyone says anything to you too. That's critical.
Yep.
Well, and I think too is like as parents, we're kind of limited. We can only do so much because we're not gonna know what
Yes.
they're gonna face until they navigate this world. Like I was getting bullied in grade school. I didn't tell my mom. I don't know why I should have, because my mom's the type of mom that she would drive down there and be like, "Who the hell is hiding my child?" So part of me was like, "Oh my god." My mom is opposite of me. She's fearless. She doesn't care if you're a man or a woman. Don't step to me. Like that's the type of person she is. I'm more like, oh no, why did you say that to me? And my mom is like, she's a kind person, but she was raised by my grandfather's in the military, and he had girls,
Hmm.
so and boys, so he raised the girls to be fearless. If somebody fights, you better be there to jump in. Like that's just my mom was like. I was like, I'm a lover, not a fighter. And so my mom was always like, oh my gosh, you're not my daughter. You're your grandmother's daughter. And so it's just hard because parents, as much as we love our kids, we can't. So I'm glad you did have a loving family. And I love the Bonnie that you are. And so
Hmm.
I'm
Oh, you're
really
sweet.
grateful.
Thank you,
Yeah.
dear. Thank you, Des.
Oh, Lori, did you want to share?
Well, I mean, I had a really good childhood as far as that's concerned too, but I had this like inner self-esteem issue that I am still struggling with. And, you know, trying to be someone that everyone else wants and not what I want. And that's been the struggle.
Be true to you.
Be true to you. I love that. Jess is really helping me with that because I feel like if a parent says, oh, I want to stop tutoring, I think, oh, I must be a crappy tutor. Right? If a student says, you helped me with this and I got a bad grade, I used to think, oh my gosh, and that internal, it's almost like internal, it's abuse. It's a verbal abuse towards ourselves. Like, oh my gosh, you're just so horrible. Why didn't you know better? Why did you say that? Why didn't you know? And then Jess is like, wait a minute. And then I talk to her and think, okay, that's okay. I'm fine. But it can be intense, right? Well, next, Sarah is going to guide us on an exercise. It's just something simple, connecting. Sarah, is there any way you connect with your inner child that we can practice?
Yeah, I'd like to share a little bit about what I do daily to connect with my inner child. And as I begin to share that, take you on a thought process journey, I ask that as I share this, I want you to think of your answers to yourself from your inner child, not from where you are today, but how would you answer this if you were your child? I ask you a question. when you think about what a treasure is, what would your response be? What is a treasure? Is it buried? Is it gold? Is it a chest full of gems? Is it something that is hidden under a letter X? Is it something that pirates seek out? Is it money? Is it coins? And then I ask you, if you found a treasure, how would it make you feel? Are you happy? Are you excited? Do you want to share it? Do you want to keep it all to yourself? Do you want to tell others about it? Is it going to be your forever secret? But how does it make you feel? Are you happy? Would it surprise you if I told you that there's a lot of days that this grown-up person talking to you today, wake up and feel sad? Does it surprise you? Because after all, I look happy. I am put together. I'm standing here in front of you, asking you to share your feelings. How dare I do that? I must be put together. But can you believe that I often wake up sad? Do you ever wake up sad? Do you ever wake up sad and don't even know why that you wake up sad? I get that. But let me tell you, one day, this grown up, this adult that looks well, that looks healthy, and that looks put together, the sad person was sitting in her living room one day, noticing that her children were wrestling and rolling and laughing. They were laughing so hard that it felt like the house was shaking. And I realized that I started to laugh with them. And as I did that, I realized that my sadness went away. And now I ask you, the child, what makes you happy? Is it coming home from school? Is it your favorite stuffed animal? Is it your best friend? Is it a brother, sister? Is it alone time? Is it a favorite TV show? Is it your favorite snack? What makes you happy? And I started to focus on things that make me happy. And it lasted for a little while, but then guess what? I got sad again. Yes, this grown up that seems so happy and so put together and here talking to you about your feelings. I got sad again and it kept on happening. And this time I reached out for some help. And the person that I reached out to says, why don't you start doing things that you like to do? So I ask you again, another question. What is something that you like to do? What makes you happy? Do you like to dance? Do you like to sing? Do you like to draw? Do you like to be with your family? Do you like to be alone? Do you like to dance in the rain? What is something that you like to do? And so I thought about that, and I like to write. So I went to the store and I got a pad of paper and I got a pen and I wrote, I wrote, and I wrote, and I wrote. And I realized that if I combined the things that I like to do along with the things that make me happy, maybe I've got something there. And maybe the treasure is something that you don't need a shovel to find. Some treasures sparkle, some treasures glow, some treasures lived on big ships long ago. Some treasures are earned, some treasures are won. Some treasures are scratched and they're loud when they run. Some treasures are bought, some treasures are found, some treasures smell pretty and grow in the ground. Some treasures prance and some treasures pose. Some treasures bark and have a wet nose. Some treasures are dressed in ribbons and lace, and some treasures you could never replace. Some treasures are given as a token of love, and some are a gift from the heavens above. But not all treasures sparkle, not all treasures shine. Some treasures are dirty most of the time. Not all treasures are gold, not all are brand new. Some make mistakes and cry when they're blue. Some treasures are big, some small as a bug. Some treasures smile, they giggle and hug. Some treasures are young, some treasures have grown. Some treasures just look around and find one of your own. And if you all could do something for me as an inner child, please take your hands and make a pretend treasure box. Pretend this is a treasure box, and then open up and look inside. And what do you see? You want to say skin, you want to say nothing. You want to say this is empty, there's nothing in there. But you know what I see? I do see skin that is attached to a hand, that is attached to an arm, and that arm extends to your body, your heart, and your mind. And I hope that this helps you remember that you are a treasure that you don't need a shovel to find.
Thank you, Sarah. That was so beautiful.
Sorry, make me cry.
I know. Anyone want to share what their treasures are? When you said what did you enjoy doing as a child, I don't know why Bewitched and I Dream of Jeannie and Gilligan's Island popped up. Anyone want to share what their treasure is? Carla?
Me? Okay, first of all, what you told us, Sarah, is a poem you wrote. Yeah.
Yes.
Can we have it, or can we find it in a book?
Well, I don't want this to be a personal plug, as we are on a
Plug away, Sarah.
but
Plug away, girlfriend.
okay. It is the book Treasures is on Amazon. And my name is, you can just look up Treasures at Sarah Kleiber. And then I also have another book called Beautiful You.
Oh.
Sarah, do you have it right now? Is
Sure.
it in the office with you? Your books? Is it in front of you or is it downstairs? Oh,
I think she's frozen.
Yes.
Sarah?
let me go check. Hold on.
Oh, Sarah.
Are we back? Did we freeze?
Yeah, you just froze a little. Jess was saying, do you have it? Do you have it somewhere nearby?
No, I didn't. I apologize. I didn't.
No, it's okay. But if you, I think Jess is trying to find it probably on Amazon to show it, but I'll share it with you. Actually, you know what? I should just I'll share it with everyone here. I can email the cover or actually the link to both books. Yeah, such a and I think if children can see their own inner treasure, think about just their self-esteem and just right what a gift it is for them.
Yeah.
And to me, it sounded like a lullaby.
It did.
Yeah. I mean, usually I don't like when adults say, "Oh, I'm sad and sad." You said many times, but then you went up saying good things. And when I saw my hands open, okay, beautiful you. Okay.
Thanks, Carol.
Yeah, that it's such a beautiful image with the rainbow and the kids.
And my treasure is smile and receive a smile and laugh as well. People who knows me usually in my normal life don't see me smile, yes, but not laughing so much. I have to say that I learned to laugh with in the PQ program with Karen and yes, and to see people, of course, smiling at me. It's a sign of acceptance, and I think smile is the best thing we can say each other without saying anything else. So
Beautiful.
I'm smiling now. I don't know if you see, but anyway, I feel smiling and I'm feeling really good. Thank you.
Oh, so grateful for you, Sarah. Anyone else before we go to Laurie? Anyone want to share a little treasure?
I don't mean to be an awful person right now, but I might have to log off a little bit earlier. We're going through some some strange things over here on this end that I might need to log off for, and I do apologize, but
Oh, no problem, sir. Thank you so much. That was such a treasure, what you shared. So we totally understand. Thank you so much for being here, and I'm sure we'll connect later.
yes.
Lovely poem,
Thank you
Sarah.
all so
Lovely.
much love.
Much
Okay.
love. Bye. Laurie, do you have a little treasure that you can't?
Oh my gosh, I have three grandchildren, but my two little girls are 6 and 2. That
Oh,
are, I'm sorry, I got a phone call. I swear, the day before yesterday, I got a phone call. Pick up the phone, and it's FaceTime because that's the only way my kids talk to me is on FaceTime. And it
Mhm.
wasn't my kid; it was my two. Well, she's 22 months, so she's not
no. And she FaceTimed you?
her. Oh yes, and she's like, "Hi, Grammy," and I'm like, "Oh my God, my 22-month-old granddaughter is calling." She's like, I mean, big smile, like. Anyway, that's my treasure. Like, yeah, she's so adorable. Too cute, too cute.
So cute. Well, Destin, you have your cute little ones in your house that sometimes pop up on video, or you share cute little paintings you
Yeah,
guys do.
so Monday through Friday, my mom babysits her grandnieces. It's her brother's granddaughters, and they're 2 and 6, going on 15 and 13. I don't
Mhm.
know. But the first one. I taught her how to do watercolor painting when she was about a year old or something. Like she was like a, like a toddler. And then the sister, um, I like art, so I introduced her to pens, and so normally they hang in the living room, but when I'm home, they hang in my room. You know what I mean? Because they like to draw, they like to do art and whatnot. So the baby is still learning how to talk, and so Snapchat, you can do filters, and so we've been doing these funny ones. So the one I just did with her is called it's a potato. I don't know if you've ever seen the Snapchat, but so because she's only 2, so she's still trying to understand. So I popped my face out. I'm like, I'm a potato. Hi. And then she popped out. She's like, hi. And then we both become potatoes, and they're really good for my heart because I work from home. But sometimes, like if I'm on a Zoom call, they don't care if they feel good energy. I know when people I'm on Zoom with has good energy because they'll want to pop on to say hi to you. I've been on a Zoom where the baby actually was scared and ran. I was like, hey, he looks like Santa. I know he looks like Santa. You know what I mean? But they keep me youthful. And yeah, so it's good to hang around kids, even if you just go to a park and just watch it, because we, as adults, we can be adulting and be so serious, but it's really good to be playful.
Definitely. Well, I don't know if you folks saw it. I shared the story where the 6-year-old, because I told him about tell me something about kangaroos. And kangaroos, they're up for 16 minutes during the pink. And I thought pink because I showed him a picture and it was kangaroos during sunset. And how do you? I'm so sunset, morning, sunset. And how do you know this? And he goes, because I know a lot of things about kangaroos, and just it was just his confidence and his 16 minutes, Miss Karen. And I thought, okay, it's a little different from what we read, but and how, because I know, like you gotta love the confidence. And I think that's why I love tutoring the little ones. So Laurie, we'll end with Laurie sharing her personal experiences of playing with your inner child, and then we'll ask for anyone who want to share before desk closes.
And segueing from, playing and all that from Des too. I know when you read my bio, I am involved in Quiet Community Players, which is our local community theater. And if you know anything about theater, it's all about play. It's a way for adults to be anything we want to be and do anything we want to do. And there is no judgment because you are playing a part and being able to be a part of that community. It's so much about embracing everyone's differences, being silly, being fun. Granted, there's drama and drama always, but it's just, so I've been involved in theater for about the last 25 years. I started because my son, Dylan, who's now 32, no, he's not, he's 33.
Oh.
He started at 11. He was in a school play in like third grade. I don't know what it was, third grade, fourth grade. And swear to God, he stole the show, took over, he was in charge. And there was a TA that was involved in the class, was really involved in community theater. And she suggested that I get him into theater. So I enrolled him into this summer program. And I said, you know, it's like 3 sessions. Just try the first. If you hate it, we're done. If you love it, we'll sign up for all the rest. Okay. As we like, life changed in my world because theater became his world. Therefore, it became my world because I had to drive him everywhere, which was holy moly. And because I'm there all the time, I ended up being president of the Alaska Theater of Youth. I ended up, the whole board quit. It was me and one other guy. We had to start over a whole theater company. I got involved in producing. I got involved in tech. I got involved in, then I moved to Hawaii. I got involved in, I was doing stage managing before, but I got involved in stage managing more, directing, acting. So it's like what started from my child ended up coming, you know, embedding into myself. So that's a big part of like, how do you get your inner child out? Theater's a big part of it. One of the other things you mentioned about doing things that you enjoy. I'm a Pisces. I love the water. My good friend and coworker Claire, she's kind of very into like readings and all that kind of stuff. I'm not, but I always enjoy hearing what people say. And she says I'm a triple Pisces. Don't know what that means, but cool. And she goes, because anything that has to do with water, I'm 100% involved in. So I paddle, I love to swim. I love it when I'm on the ocean. I love being on boats. I've always lived within probably 20 minutes of the ocean my whole life. So I've always like had that water, you know, wherever I'm at. And been involved in the water my whole life. My grandparents had a house on oceanfront house on Vashon Island, Washington, in Puget Sound. I grew up there on the beach. I grew up in the water. So going back there is my happy place. This is like where I start getting emotional. I ended a 40-year marriage 2 years ago. Had a lot of difficulty. I was told I wasn't good enough. I was told I was not. I was told a lot of things that's not true, that I had to relearn. So my self-esteem was this big. I didn't like myself. I ended up having health issues, which I working on, but the health issues, I didn't discover what they were for about 10 years. And so I have an autoimmune disease that is not treatable. It's just, I mean, it's not curable, it's just treatable. And it's always something that you're struggling with. I was pretty much told, even when I was succeeding and doing well and being and doing a lot of really, really good things successfully, I was told I was doing it all wrong by my spouse. So, and then we went to a part we just didn't talk to each other for like 2 years. I mean, it was easier for me to just shut up and just keep doing my stuff and not have a conversation. So, I mean, my parents were married for 50 years. Their parents were married for 50 years. I figured I was going to be married, you know, I took my vows seriously, and you suck it up, buttercup. And that's what you do. But I started going to therapy. I started being told, no, you are good enough. You have value. And those kinds of things, I was able to break through, go through the divorce process, which was actually easier than it probably should have, because he was waiting for me to leave him because he did not want to be the bad guy.
Mm.
So I was having to be the bad guy. So there is some circles here on this island that don't like me because I'm the one that broke it off. But yet my circles, I think, are much bigger than his, and I have a bigger, I mean, Des will affirm to that. I have bigger circles on this island than he does, so I'm feeling like the love is coming more my way than his way. And he's still on island. I mean, we live in a very small place. So he's still on island. So I'm still kind of in and out, but we actually haven't spoken a word to each other in over a year. Though we have children together and grandchildren together. And but the things that I do to really nourish my inner child, is getting back to that, is therapy. I mean, I'm religious about it. I can't say enough about that. That has really helped. And then having your community around you and having people support you in ways that are super positive. Putting you out in those, putting you out in those scary situations and just, letting it go. I think Des or Karen, when I was on before, I think I've told you that I call it jumping off the cliff, because I've jumped off the cliff several times in my life. People go, what does that mean? I was living in Washington State with my then husband, kids, very small kids, like 2 and 5. And we sold everything, moved to Alaska, no house, no job, nothing, moved with 2 small kids and a Great Dane, and lived there for 20 years. And then I jumped off the cliff again when we moved to Hawaii. We moved here with no job, no house, and made it all work again. And I've been extremely successful in both places. And I've been here for 12 years and absolutely love it. Have a thriving business, have my own home that I bought myself. I also have a home in Washington State. So I think that I've been like successful in all the places, and I'm looking to jump off a cliff again because I'm getting married again.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I found another gentleman who is exactly a lot like me. The weird thing about him, I met him on Tinder, guys. So yes, you can meet guys on. But he and I have literally been within 15 minutes of each other our entire lives. Yeah. So he was in, yeah, crazy. He was in Alaska when I was there. He was in Washington State when I was there, and he was in Kauai when I was here. He was actually renting a house that I sold. It's like so weird. So yeah, and then we met on Tinder. So yeah. So
Miracles happen.
it's weird. It's weird stuff. Anyway, so and Des knows Jerry. And
Yes, I love Jerry.
Jerry's good people. And he just loves me the way I am, doesn't want to change a thing, like at all. And that blew my mind. But on the other side of that, I mean, the whole, getting divorced and getting out in the dating world, I was like, well, no one's going to want to date me because, I'm 63 years old and, a grandmother, and I'm not like a model figure. I'm a little chunk and all this other stuff. And no, I didn't have a problem getting dates, just FYI, not a problem. I mean, people, it was like not a thing. I mean, not everybody was my cup of tea. Don't get, so, and that's fine. But, I dated a bunch. And when I met Jerry, then I was like, I kept testing him to find out if he was going to, just leave on me, but he didn't. I'm just saying that there's a lot of things that don't be scared. It's okay to do things scared.
Scared.
Just do things scared. And everybody goes, how do you keep doing that? I said, aren't you scared? I'm scared to get in front of people. I'm scared to get in front of people every day. And I do things scared. I said, well, how do you get and do your videos? I said, I do them scared. How do you I get ask these questions all the time. How do you get up on stage? I said, I do it scared. All of it is there. None of it's easy. None of it's, but it's like once you're in it, it kind of, the scare goes away. It's before you're doing it. It's like, I'm scared of it. And then once you're in it, you're like, you do it. And everybody says, I hate what I look like on camera. I absolutely hate what I look like on camera. And I will only watch my videos one time, and then that's it. I won't watch them again. And I have to just get over that. No one's actually commented, geez, Lori, you're really fat. I mean, nobody's ever said that. I say that, and so, or geez, Lori, that outfit's not attractive, or geez, Lori, no one says these things in real life per se, and they're just like, oh my God, a real person who's authentic. And I think that says 10 times more than the model people that are trying to be all perfect. I'm a American Dreams television host, and I just went to a conference in San Diego a couple weeks ago. There was a very dichotomy of people. There was the people like what I consider like me, kind of real and average. And then there was the model people. And I was like, those are not my people. I just can't do that. I can't do the 6-inch heels. I can't do the skin tight clothes. I can't do it. And I'm not going to. So it's just not me. And I think being authentic is way better. No, I'm scared every day doing what I do. But I have a lot of good friends and people that bring me in. I got my dog. She keeps me in line. She yells at me often. I don't know where my cat is. I have no clue. Saw him this morning, but I think, Des, how many times have you seen my cat?
Yeah, I house it for her, and I think I only seen him once, and the last time I was there, I didn't see him at all because he's like, peace. I'm not hanging in this house, guys. I can concur. So Lori, I have the honor and privilege of being her social media manager, because she is a business owner. She owns her own. She's a broker, and she's a real estate agent, and she's a new TV host. And so I get to hear all the behind the scenes of like, oh my gosh, and honestly, as someone who monitors the social media, I tell her all the time, I was like, dude, people love you. The views I get is when you're talking. You know what I mean? When you're on there, imperfect, just being yourself, that's what people gravitates towards. As much as we watch on social media and how people view things organically, people are drawn to her. And so it's been a privilege to be in her life and to be the person who videos and takes pictures, and I'm like her biggest cheerleader online. And people always compliment her. She's like, oh, thank you. Des does it all.
No, I don't do any of it. I would go, everybody says, how do you post so much? I said, I don't. But what we do is we batch video. I mean, we'll video, we'll do 25, 30 videos in 3 hours and get them all done, and then she'll batch them out. That's how most people do this stuff. They don't do it daily. No one has time for that. But and use kitties. But using ADTV as a platform has been, it's an interesting concept. It's new to me. I'm trying it out. It's kind of fun to be on a national, Emmy nominated show so that you can, try to get some like more national or global recognition. Because when you're in this business, this is your is your logo. Unfortunately, that's the way it goes. It's not your brand name or anything like that. It's pretty much your face. So, and there's people that don't like me, and that's okay. They're not my people. I'm okay with that. But just getting out there more and, going through, doing things I love. I mean, I love to be involved in my community, and that's, Des and I are both in Zonta together. If you don't know what that is, a women's service organization. I'm super involved in Zonta. And, we do give a lot back to the community. So doing those kinds of things, I'm, extremely, excited to be able to be a part of it. So I think being community, doing things you love, like paddling or theater, and just, having hobbies be outside of your job, and, doing other things. It's been a struggle. Being married for 40 years was my identity for 40 years. So getting a new identity is definitely, it's been a challenge the last 2 years. Been going through a lot of growth. So I'm happy to share like the growth I've been through, but, thank you, Karen. I don't know if you have any questions or.
Oh, thank you so much. I remember when I interviewed you a couple years ago, I share that story where you have to jump off the cliff,
Right.
and just, I mean, Washington to Alaska to Hawaii, and you are, it's comforting to know that, yeah, everything I do, like, oh my gosh, you're right. Yeah. And you look confident. I was scared. I was just like,
Yeah.
what? But you look so natural. I was scared but you're right. Once you start, it's okay. But when you're preparing for it, you're thinking, I can't do this. And I don't want to do this. And then you just force yourself, I think. And it is comparable to jumping on the cliff and you think, oh, there's a hot air balloon here.
You don't know how the landing is going to be.
You don't know.
Oh, and 99% of the time, I don't think I've ever jumped off a cliff and really like balked badly. I mean, some things I'm like, okay, I learned something. But it's not, I didn't die.
Yeah. That's always reminds me. Yeah. Did you die? No, but boy, did I feel like I was going to die. You feel like it's shark infested waters and you think it's just in your head. You
Well,
jump,
I tell that to people every day about I mean, the industry I'm in real estate, there's so much drama and so much like up and down and emotional. Oh, it's just, and then I just go, did somebody die? And they go, no. And I was like, then we can fix it. So just, I mean, just the drama I get on a daily is like, yeah, it's like I'm not a surgeon where someone's going to die on my table type of thing. It's just selling a house. It's not, nobody's going to die. So, I kind of take it in perspective because there's people, it gets drama filled and I tell people every day, like when if I'm going to sell a house or list a house or someone wants to buy a house, I just tell them up front, we're going to have 3 problems, minimum 3. And we're going to have them. So I don't know which ones they're going to be because every deal is different, but we're going to have 3 problems. So, and something will come up. I said, that's one. and they're going, oh my God, you're right. I said, yep. Every single deal, there's 3 problems. Now, some of them are teeny weeny problems and some of them are really big problems. But yeah, I said, we can get through all the problems, but we're going to have 3. And I've never been proved wrong. Just know when you go to buy something like that in a big purchase, you're going to have 3 problems.
I think kids should be taught that. You're going to cry. You're going to feel hurt. You're going to feel, that you're not good enough, but that it's okay. You just, because I notice the kids who are resilient, they're like, that's okay. So I got an F, it doesn't mean anything.
Right.
Who taught you that? Because it's not who I am, but that's a learned
Yeah, you
belief
need to
system.
go through that. I mean, I know as a kid, I said go back to the little Lori
Yes.
50 years ago. I'm old. And I forget. Freaking old.
No, you're not.
You are not.
So 50 years ago, when little Lori, I was the hardest on myself than anybody. My parents never once said you have to get bye, Bonnie. You have to leave.
Thanks, Bonnie, for coming.
No, my parents never said I had to get good grades ever. I always got good grades. I was a straight A student. And my parents were never straight A students, and my sister was not a good student. And I learned somewhere in my early teens that I was the smartest one in my family. I know that's hard. And that kind of set things apart. Like I challenged everything. And I was not an easy teenager because I challenged every single thing, everything, because I figured it out that I was smart. And I challenged my parents, and I think I gave them all their gray hairs, but that's like what caused me to do as much as I did, I think, because I challenged everything. I said, I'm going to do this, and I do it. If I say I'm going to do something, I do it. And that's been since I was 10. I mean, I'm still doing that. So I'm going to be doing, like, Jerry and I are going to buy a travel trailer, and we're going to travel the United States 6 months of the year and semi-work 6 months of the year.
I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna follow her at some parts of her trip. I'm
Yeah,
just
because you
waiting
need
for
video.
them.
You need video and content.
Oh, that's so true, Lori. I can
No, but
follow.
Jerry loves to take video of me. He's always taking video of
Yes.
me. And he sends it to Des. He just takes video of me and sends it to her.
When I do her social media, because I'm not with her when she's traveling and Jerry's with her, I end up with the best footage to use, you know, and I'm like, Jerry Pete is the my co-producer in all of this.
Takes all the
One of the
videos.
reasons why he entered her life.
Yeah.
Anyway, but he's, yeah, we're going to do something fun. That's one of my next plans, but it's a process at this point. But Karen, thank you so much for letting me be a part of your podcast. I know that this is, I'm probably like, why am I on here? I just think that you can do hard things. And yes, you're going to be scared to do hard things. And when we're a child, we're scared to do hard things. And we're an adult, we're still scared to do hard things. We're always going to be scared to do hard things. So it's just, you just suck it up and do it. And am I perfect? I fail on a daily. And you just have to, like, know that that's okay.
Perfect way to close. I love that. It's okay. Yeah, because otherwise we'll just be in our snail shell, and then you think you pop in. No, not the right time. Right. So just
Yep.
it's like what Nike said, just do it. Don't think too much about it. Just do it. Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to close and say thank you so much for everybody for attending, for Lori and Sarah was with us earlier, and Carla and Erica for giving your feedback, and Bonnie. Karen, thank you so much for hosting this, because we need it, and I think this is something we need to have conversations with, not just us, but with other people in our lives when we start seeing people manifest things and say, hey, how are you really feeling? How's your inner child? What's your inner child? And like open that discussion and encouraging people, like Lori said, to do things scared. And then like for Bonnie, your treasures doesn't have to be well we envision it to be like, like a pirate and treasures, but it can be in so many other ways, our pets or the love that we feel a sunset and whatnot. I just wanted to encourage you guys, if anyone's interested in the replay of this, you guys can email Karen at Karen@lettinggowithaloha.com. Karen is also on social media. You can find her as Healing with Aloha or Karen Casey
Wait. You said
Gibson.
healing with aloha.
Oh, so letting go with Aloha. Sorry, we're both
People
healing.
do that
We're
all the
both
time.
letting.
I interviewed someone and they were like, "This is Karen from Healing with Aloha," and I didn't know how to correct her. So at the very end, I'm like, actually, it's letting go with Aloha. But remember, Deslet. So we're one.
So if you guys are on social media, she is on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and
And
also she's
TikTok
on
because of
TikTok
you.
and LinkedIn. So you can look up Karen Casey Gibson, and some of them is letting go with Aloha.
Yes.
And if you go on Amazon, she has these are her 4 books that she has published, and next year she'll be coming to the island of Kauai to offer a workshop for people who aspire, Lori Bankert, to be an author. No pressure. But
No
anyways,
pressure at
guys,
all.
thank you so much for joining us. We really send a big hug to you guys. And if there's anything you guys want us to collaborate with you guys, or if you wanted Karen to do something like this for your group, just reach out to her. And yeah, it's an honor and privilege to have you guys on a Saturday.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.